Though. I hope. Welcome home, everybody, to episode 53 of the podcast and the November 10th show, 2019. I'm Chad Pennycuff, your host, and tonight we're just doing a few minutes of chit-chat before we start to go live. I guess it is already 9 o'clock, so we're late. Oh, well, that's the fun of going live. Sometimes you just never know what you're going to come up to. So tonight's agenda, let me come in and add this onto the screen. So we're going to announce our gift card winner from last week from Vacation Club Loans. We put everybody who we could find their comments on YouTube into a random generator, and Shannon did that. We've also got Andy Berry from DVC Resale Market joining us tonight to do our monthly update. We're going to talk about some deep discounts offered at DRR and Alani, and the Alani one's really deep. We'll talk about new inventory declared over at Riviera. Shannon and I both did some fundraising for Give Kids the World this week. Our Moonlight Magic Meetup this Thursday night over at the DCA and Grand California Craftsman Bar. And then the main content tonight is the Hidden Gems. So I would like to welcome tonight to the show Andy Berry. How you doing, Andy?
Great. How are you, Chad?
Oh, hi. Thanks for joining us.
I'm sorry it's so warm out here in California.
Hey, I'm buying hoodies for Thursday, so tell me I'm not out of place, but it is.
You'll need it. At night It gets a little cool here. You know that.
Okay. And then welcome back, Alicia.
It's still snowing in Michigan, so bring the sunshine.
And then we're always glad to have Shannon Ford back with us as well. Hey, Shannon.
And I'm in South Florida, so it's just hot.
Yeah, at all times. At all times.
We got a little cool. I was in Central Florida. I was in Orlando yesterday, on Friday and yesterday. So it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's come back in, and I'm going to roll a video here to announce our winner, and we'll start to see who came up with something. This is from last week's drawing. Just a recap on this. We start doing a promotion with Debbie from Vacation Club Loans, and she has just been saving members thousands upon thousands of dollars. So I said, Debbie, we're saving them so much, we need to do some giveaway celebrations. And what we ended up doing was when we hit the $100,000 mark saved, we give away a $100,000 gift card.
Or $100 gift card. If you give it $100,000, if you're giving $100,000, I want in.
Yeah, I did not vote enough for that.
Thanks for correcting that one, right? But a $100 gift card. And when we hit 250,000 saved, we'll give away a $250 gift card. And then we'll be celebrating at $500,000 saved. And then at the cool million saved, we'll be doing another celebration as well. So keep calling Debbie for those refis. If you're paying over 9.99% on a DVC loan, you really owe it to yourself and your family to talk to her. So let's come back in and see who won from last week.
Okay, about to pick the name for the $100 gift card. And that person is Lauren Rice. Congratulations, Lauren.
Yay, Lauren. I don't know if Lauren's watching tonight. So I see a little triangle up here that says that Facebook might not be live. So I don't know. Is anybody watching from Facebook tonight? Could you guys make a comment here and let us know if we're live? Let me see. Just checking it out. Yep, it looks like we're live there.
Oh, good.
Perfect. Because I just haven't seen any Facebook comments tonight. And it's kind of unusual to be this far into it and not see anybody. So congratulations, Lauren. You can reach out to myself and Debbie, and we will get in contact with you to electronically share with you the gift card number so that you can just add it into DisneyGiftCard.com and then transfer it onto your own cards. This way it doesn't get lost in the mail, stolen, any of that kind of fun stuff that can happen. And we can be guaranteed that you get that.
Also, the person that won, I don't have her name on with me right now, but the person who won the ears has not contacted me. So I did put a reply to her comment on the video 2 weeks ago. So I guess if she doesn't contact me in the next week, we'll draw another name for the mini ear. So if you entered in for the mini ears, make sure you just go back and just make sure, and check. Either watch last week's video or check and see if there's a reply, because I did reply on that person's name.
Awesome.
So I want to get them out to you.
Awesome. So let's come back in and let's start to just focus, Andy, DVC resale market. So this month, what happened in October for the ROFR report?
So in October, ROFR, Disney ended up buying back 17.4%. That's year to date. So what we have experienced is the trend is slow. It's low, in part because DVC's fiscal year starts October 1st. Mm-hmm. So it could be they may have been all spent out of money, or maybe they have just an over allocated portion of inventory that they don't need any more of the sold outs back in inventory. But the decline in the numbers, absolute numbers and percentages is moving in the direction of favorability for resale, because it's going to give us more of a chance to have our buyers get through the buyback process without having a ROFR exercise.
Okay, so it was a pretty light month then, right?
Very light. The last 2 months, 19 contracts in September and 15 contracts in October.
Wow, okay.
Very low.
Yeah, that's unseasonably low. Now, were they still buying up Old Key West, Animal Kingdom, and Saratoga?
Yes, sir.
The usual suspects?
Yeah, the usual suspects. I had a couple more on Grand Cal this month, but not an absolute number that large. But the typical ones: Saratoga, Old Key West, a little bit of Bay Lake, and there's still a couple of the properties that haven't had any buybacks this year: Copper Creek, Alani, Polynesian, and Vero Beach.
Oh wow. Okay then. So, what would you come back in and recommend then? I mean, are we still at it looks like if you put an offer in above ROFR, you're pretty safe, but.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe comment, Chad. I always tell people, I wish I had $1 for every time somebody would ask me, if I put this number in, does that mean I'm going to get past ROFR? Because I wouldn't have to sell anything. I would just get everything through the dollar. But I think if you look at the average prices, and we're going to get to that in a little bit too, but if you look at the ROFR highest levels year to date, and look at it over the course of a 12-month rolling average or a 9-month rolling average, you'll get an idea to see where the ROFR numbers are. So you don't have to be too concerned if it's above that level.
Gotcha. And you tend to coach people through that, right? You tend to go, hey, look, we think this will be a safe level, but if you really want to roll the dice on it, you can go below this par. Yep.
Yeah, and what you find is when you contact us, all of the 11 agents that work direct for DVC resale market will counsel you and coach you on, what's a strong offer, what's a way to possibly avoid the ROFR process, even constructing a different way to look at an offer, maybe rolling in closing costs, things like that. There's a lot of ways that you can potentially look for ways to navigate around that process. Doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to happen, but it gives you a good idea.
Perfect. So right now, I'm just confirming we cannot see the Facebook comments on our tool tonight. So if you guys want to jump over to mydvcpoints.com/YouTube, we'll be able to see your comments and put them up, I hope. Facebook has a little yellow check mark on this that says it's a little bit of an error message. And we'll come back in and hopefully we'll keep that thing going. I did see us live on Facebook when I viewed it. So, and I see a thumbs up from Facebook, which has to be there. So sorry about the little technical problems here. So then average sales prices, Andy, what happened in the month of Freudian slip there? Because I had Andrew helping him out beforehand from episode 19, do his troubleshooting. So I did have Andrew on here tonight, just a half hour ago. But Andy, what's going on there with average sales prices?
Well, I mean, as we know and has been out there, that DVC Direct took their prices up on the end of October, the retail prices up direct. And that just gives a greater value towards the resale market. You'll see savings anywhere from call it 30% up to 45, almost 50%, excluding any incentives that they have out there. In fact, one of the best buys out there is Alani. And if you look at it, retail price direct is $188. Our average prices on resale run about $94. So half price. However, they do have some very strong incentives out there on Alani to buy direct, but it's still
You still
buying
smoke them.
through resale. Yeah, it's still smoking it. You can save about 35 to 38% in total by purchasing resale Alani points.
Yeah, we'll cover that a little bit later tonight. I did a little bit of math on that. Okay. But I want to steal thunder from later in the show when we've got the ladies that can come back in and join us as well. Now, what's going on with the inventory over at DVC Resale Market?
I think what you're seeing on inventory on our side is a lot of volume on Polynesian, a lot on Saratoga, obviously, because it's the largest DVC resort out there. A bit on Old Key West, a lot on Old Key West, but there's a lot of good buys out there. And just navigate through that and make contact with one of the agents, one of the 11 agents, and they'll help you to assist in finding that perfect contract or perfect listing that will work for you and your families.
Right. Still a great time to pick up some Polynesian points, right?
It is. And I always say no better time to do it than this time of the year, because you can wrap it up as a Christmas gift or a holiday gift. Won't close until probably January timeframe, but what a special way to really ignite your family with a holiday gift of a DVC membership.
Something tells me we can still print something pretty to put under the tree. So
yeah, I think we can.
And it'll generate a little excitement there.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff we can do that. A lot of fun things around that one. But you're going to save a ton of money. Contact any one of our 11 agents directly, and they'll all be able to help you out.
Okay, so now what are you guys running short on? What would be a good thing to list right now?
A good thing to list is always going to be something like a beach club or a boardwalk in Grand Floridian, if you've got that. Animal Kingdom, I mean, we'll take inventory. We're bringing in 75 to 100 new listings a week, and we have that volume going out as well. You may start to see people considering selling once you get your annual dues statement, if it looks like they're going to go up significantly or even a small amount. If you're not using the membership, why not look to get to unwind it or liquidate it?
Yes, let's get it over to a family who's got some add-on itis and could use some more points.
You got it.
So awesome there, Andy. So thank you so much for that. And let me just confirm, you are Andy at dvcresalemarket.com, right?
That's correct.
Okay,
correct.
Perfect. So,
but I'll always say, Chad, any of the 11 agents will be able to help.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing of it is I will rotate through all of the 11 agents that are out there, and I'll have them come back in and do their pitch on the show. And so, but right now, if you guys want to get a hold of Andy, it's Andy at dvcresalemarket.com. And believe you me, I have talked with so many of the agents there. It's not funny, and they will all treat you with excellence.
Yeah.
Fair statement? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so let's bring back the ladies here, and welcome back.
Hi.
Hello.
Gave you guys a little bit of time in the green room. Yeah. Hopefully I gave you a heads up that I was bringing you back. So
that was good. It was exciting to hear about all those good savings, Andy.
My pleasure, Alicia.
Yes.
Yeah. So now the next story here is the deep discounts offered at Disney's Riviera Resort. And this news article came out in DVC News, and then, of course, DVC Info picked it up. But I look at it and I went, the best time of the year last year to buy Copper Creek was right at Christmas time. They put out their best incentives around Christmas time.
Yeah, that was for me.
Yeah, that was for you. Andy, do you see that normally? Because you're a former direct guide. Does it seem like the Christmas season's like highly more incentivized than anything else?
It's usually that this fourth quarter of the calendar year, the first quarter of the fiscal year for the company. They want to get the year started off quickly, and it's a nice way to package it all together for families who are looking to maybe wrap DVC as a present for underneath the tree, or giving a Hanukkah gift or a Kwanzaa gift. So there's a lot of different ways that families are looking at it, from a small package of 100 points up to a large package of a couple thousand points.
Yeah, that's true. I can throw this up on the screen here pretty quick, and let me do this one.
I don't think I have any relatives that'll give me a few thousand points. That'd be pretty amazing.
Well, I mean, hey man, if Santa wants to bring me the cash, I'm not turning him away. Okay. But these are some of the new incentives that are out there for direct from Alani, or direct from Riviera. And at 125 points, an existing member can save 500. And this is a nice little chart here to just show you at 250 points, you're knocking $20 off a point. So it drops it down to like 168. Now, the last that I saw on resale, Andy, they were going for what? Like 132 one was listed at?
Yeah, we sold, I believe, our first Riviera contract on Friday, and it was sold in the low 130s. Actually, yeah, 130.
Okay. So you're still going to take like a beating and a half on that. So, yeah, the incentives are there. Now, here's what I think is the really interesting story is what's going on over here at Alani. Okay. And I'm looking at this Alani coming back in and at 12,500 off at 300 points. Andy, it sounds like they're just trying to move that stuff.
Yep. The resort's been around for a long time. And the only way to get rid of it from a direct standpoint is to incentivize it. It was one of the resorts that did not see a price increase coming in the end of October. So it's a terrific buy direct, but it's even a better buy when you look at the resale market.
Oh, absolutely.
300 point incentive is the equivalent of about $40 a point. Takes it down from 188 down to about 145, 150. But you can still find resale prices for Alani at or below $100 per point.
Yeah, that's true. And
we have a comment. I'm just reading because our comments aren't, just so for everyone that knows, our comments are not showing up for either Facebook or YouTube. So Courtney wrote, can you still buy small amounts like 50 points?
Yeah, it's showing up on my screen. So maybe it's a little buggy here, Shannon.
Okay.
Right. But from Life with Courtney. Yeah. Can you, and I believe that's true, correct? Andy,
I believe so too. I think the minimum to add on is 50 points, and some of the resorts might be 75 in total for adding on. But that would be a contact direct. Then let them know.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you guys had some 50-point contracts out there here recently as well.
And those for the audience standpoint, those go very quick. Sometimes even before market because the small contracts, they're just not around that much anymore.
It could be. And the other thing is I'm starting to see like Shannon's Facebook comments here as well. So maybe if you're on Facebook, like close it and come back and we might be able to see your comments. Just trying to figure out why some people's comments aren't coming up. But anyways, this is the fun of a live show, guys. We never know what tech's going to do every single week, but it is pretty cool that we can all be at home and talk DVC together and start doing this little community building session here.
So I look at Alani was one of those, as we went back and forth between Copper Creek and Alani, we were like, well, the only downfall that I saw of not buying Alani was that 11-month versus 7-month mark. So if we, because we have to go at Christmas time or at busy holiday times, me going at 11-month mark to, out in Hawaii isn't as big of a draw as buying in anywhere in Disney World area for us.
Yeah. I mean, that's just it. You've got to be willing to 7-month over to Walt Disney World if you're going to buy Alani. Now, the upside to that is they have some smoking hotel rooms over there and some standard view rooms at Alani that the owners all take up at the 11-month mark. Mm-hmm. That's the benefit of owning over at Alani.
Especially for the summer vacation time for, most families that travel, especially that far of a distance.
I could see where a resale though would be like a shoe-in for Alani, because if that's like your bonus points, right, that you can use somewhere else, and the year that you choose to go to Hawaii, well then you're in.
Great point, Alicia. Very good.
Yep. So back over here, DVC News also picked up this next story as well. Let me see if I can make this happen. Nope, I want that one so that we're all here. Okay, and it looks like October 4th that they declared some new inventory. So 3 more studios, 2 1-bedrooms, 8 dedicated 2-bedroom villas, 15 lock-offs, and a grand villa. And so they've got the little declaration marks here. And the total, you can now start to see they're really heavy on the grand villas when I did a little bit of math on this. But other than that, it's a pretty fair spread across the other rooms. And Andy, can you give us a recap on what it means to like declare rooms?
Yeah, so what happens is the developer in this case is Disney Vacation Development Inc., and they own all the points. And the way that the DVC pays for itself is they take those points and rent them out on a cash basis. That's why there's so many more rooms available initially on a cash basis. If they start to feel like there's going to be more of a ownership basis, they'll release more inventory like they just did. And they'll at some point in time, eventually, it'll be only an opportunity where owners can stay there. Yes, you'll be able to rent out your points if you had to, but the developer will flip over from being controlling the points versus giving them off to DVC members and owners to use.
Yeah. So what they do is they kind of move the inventory from their cash inventory when they do a declaration, and they make it available for owners and members to rent. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that opens up the 11-month window for Riviera owners, and it's great when it happens for us because once you see a declaration, it usually takes a week or two before we start to see all of those rooms just pop live in inventory. Mm. And so when you see those declaration notices, if it's on your agenda to stay over there at the Riviera Resort, you're going to want to come back in and start stalking the website because that's when they'll pop and they'll be available and you can book. Mm.
And sometimes members, and they don't work with the wait list. So if they get declared, it does, and you have a wait list. That's what I've heard. That I don't know if you know that it doesn't necessarily catch the wait list. Do you know anything about that?
I don't know if that is the case.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've heard that several times from several different sources. Don't know how accurate it is. But, if you have a wait list and think that just because it's been declared, it's going to snatch it up, just know that you should probably go in and check.
Good point.
All right. Interesting. I forgot to do a shout out as well. My friend Tom over at Welcome Home Podcast. I am rocking the cool kid hat tonight. So I wore it last week, but I didn't say anything and nobody in the audience mentioned anything either. So
I'm trying to figure out if on your desk in the back, is that a chicken? What is that?
The other side.
Oh, a chicken.
This?
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
No, it's the mine. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My kids left that out. So
he's cute.
Yeah, they decorate my room each week for me.
Yeah.
So make sure I've got some cool Disney swag up there.
Yes. I need more.
Well, Jeremy just commented that he rode the Skyliner for the first time today.
Oh,
awesome. That's right. Oh, dude, you're tuning in from Walt Disney World. I forgot that.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah. I think he said there was a bunch of snow at his house too, right? And so he's happy to be at Disney World.
What better time to be at Disney World when there's snow at your house?
Yeah.
I mean, right?
I wouldn't know. Sorry.
Me either.
Yeah, well, rub it in. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Rub it in.
Come on up. We'll show you snow. We'll trade. Yeah.
But as well, also this week, Shannon and I got to have a little bit of fun with Give Kids the World. Mm-hmm. So Shannon, why don't you tell us a little bit about your Give Kids the World experience?
Well, so I'll start with why I was in Orlando, because I do want to give a shout out to the WHO organization. It's the Westgate Hospitality Organization. They were celebrating 20 years. I was asked to pass out awards, and it was actually sponsored and put on by Disney. So it was at the Coronado Springs. And I'll tell you, I've been to events at Disney for some conventions in the past, but this was actually put on by Disney. The head of marketing was there, Jody Bainter, and I got to speak with her after the event. And they know how to put on a show. They put on a really great, food was fantastic. It was just a great event, a great evening. Johnny Damon was there, so that was fun. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I actually knew who he was. So it was probably the one or two baseball players that I actually knew. And we actually helped pass out the awards. And then they closed out Pandora, and we went to so the dessert portion of the evening was at Pandora World of Avatar from 10 to 11:30 at night.
Wow.
And they bust us over to Pandora. We go through a back entrance.
Oh, nice.
You don't have, so that's something that I learned is that when they have these private events, they bus everybody from a certain location because they bring you in through the cast member back entrance. So that was pretty cool. I videotaped as much as I could, but it was raining. So it was raining.
Strike that from the record. Right? You're not allowed to video or picture backstage.
No, I didn't videotape anywhere where I wasn't supposed to. Like I was on the bus. Yeah, like trust me, I wasn't going to get in trouble. But as we were getting off the bus, they handed us all ponchos, and so my husband got to come with me. We went first to the food, so everybody went straight to the passage, but we went to the food. They had some alcoholic beverages. Alcoholic is a strong word because it was very, very watered down, but they were good. And then we went to Flight of Passage, 5-minute wait, walked on. It was awesome. And got to do Navi River as well. So it was pretty amazing to see. I wish the weather had been better, but it was really amazing to see how they do these private events. And I asked some of the cast members, I'm like, how often do you do these? And they said, oh, well, this time of year, probably once or twice a week, because we have a lot of corporations that have conventions or they do Christmas parties. So this time of year, they do these events once or twice a week and after hours. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So whosavings.com is the website. I found out I had never heard of this before, but you can join and get discounts throughout the tourist attractions in Central Florida. And it's no cost to you. But it's a great way so if you want to go to medieval times or any others, those tourist attractions, you can get discounts by joining this. It's just basically your card. So all the workers were there, and it was really fun to meet other people outside of the Disney bubble, but are in the hospitality industry in Central Florida. So that's why I was there.
And that's called Who's Saving?
whosavings.com. So the organization is the Westgate Hospitality Organization. It was started by David Siegel, who is the owner of Westgate Resorts. And he started it really as it's a reward program. So these hospitality workers actually get, I guess, commission if they sell certain things, but it's a way for them to also make extra money. But there's no cost for the organizations to join and offer discounts. And there's also no cost for individuals like us to join and get the discounts. So it's a really neat thing. And always we're, as DVC owners, we're always trying to save a little bit of money. Yeah. And they partner with Disney. Disney is their biggest partner. So I thought that was pretty interesting as well.
Yeah. So let me I brought up their website really quick, and whosavings.com is the banner for it. I'll take it down so that it's not acting you out while you're talking there, Shannon. Okay. Believe it or not, they're supposed to fix that in the software. I keep complaining about it. But.
So so again, that was why I was there. So it was put up for one night at the Westgate Town Center. So, which was really nice. I will say, as we were driving to the Coronado, we realized why we stay on property, because it was only 6 miles, but it took us 25 minutes because the traffic was crazy. It's like, oh, this is why we stay on property, because we're outside the bubble and we're in traffic. So I was like, oh, this is what, we realized how much we miss the tourist attractions of Central Florida. So the next morning, as you mentioned, I participated in the Challenge for Hope for Give Kids the World. So since I knew I was going to be in Orlando, I reached out to them and said, I'd like to participate. They were more than willing. I signed up as a runner and raised, my goal was 500. I only got to 400, but I only signed up about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and was able to meet with some of the families after the race. And I had my crown and banner. So I was using the crown and visiting with some of the families that were there on with the wish trips, and the run. So I actually did post a video on my own personal YouTube. I think Chad is going to put it in the show notes as far as a link, but the scope and the size of the Give Kids the World is incredible. It's called Give Kids the World Village. And it really, really is a village. The units that the families stay in are essentially small houses, and they have a mailbox and two parking spaces in front of each unit. There's a sign that says "Welcome Home," and then they put the name of the family And, that really touched me because you see the name of the family and you realize that family is here because they're going through something that no family should go through. And it really touches as a parent. I can't even imagine, what some of these families go through. I met a family that had 9 kids of their own, and 7 of them were adopted, and they had adopted special needs kids, and they had been on 2 wish trips at Give Kids the World, and they're there, and they support this, and they come every year, and they raise money. So I think the largest, the highest individual participant raised $11,000. There was a team that raised $17,000, and I think they came from Wisconsin. I don't remember exactly, but there was some really big, and it was only 1,200 people there running. So I encourage people to take a look at this. If you can't participate in person next year, you can participate as a virtual runner. But if you want to see the village, because you can't go and visit Give Kids the World on your own. The only time they open it up to the public outside of volunteering is this event. So if you want to take a look, I tried to videotape as much as I could as far as to give people an idea of what is on the property. I was able to hold it together for the most part until I got into the Castle of Miracles, which is where they have the stars. And the video doesn't capture the amount of stars there, and each star has a name, and that name is a child that visited Give Kids the World. And as I'm trying to hold it together because I got really emotional when I was in it, because it's just so overwhelming, because it's room after room after room, and it's this little miniature castle. But it's and to know it is, and to know that those names, a lot of those children are now stars, and that's their memory of being there. So it was a really powerful day. I was on 3 hours sleep, so if I look tired in the video, I have some bags under my eyes. I'm sorry, but that's it was
all good.
All good. I was glad. So I raised $400, and again, it was just a great event. And I hope people will take a look at it and participate either in person or virtually next year. Awesome.
And
you did better than me, because you raised more than me.
Yeah. Well, we'll hit that in a second.
Okay.
I want to go over the picture you sent in.
Oh, okay.
So go ahead and tell us what's going on here.
So Chick-fil-A was one of the big sponsors, and these cows were passing out sandwiches. So my husband was with me. He's decided to stay back at the hotel and sleep. So I grabbed 2 sandwiches, but this was at the beginning of the race. So I didn't realize that I was going to have to run the rest of the race with 2 sandwiches in my hands. But it was very similar to a Run Disney event where you had characters and entertainment on the course, taking pictures. So again, I tried to they have,
you're hiding sandwiches behind these guys?
Pretty much. I mean, they were small. They were small, but they were like biscuit, the chicken biscuit sandwiches, I guess, that they have for breakfast. But they had, they celebrate birthdays, a birthday party once a week, Halloween once a week, and Christmas once a week. That way the families that are there can celebrate all 3 while they're there. So they had Santa out there, and Christmas carolers. They had a trick-or-treat trail while you were running. So it was pretty powerful to see how, again, the size. I mean, it wasn't a 5K, it was a 1.5 miles, but it was all through the village. So
I could probably do 1.5.
I could do a 1.5. Okay. I could do a 1.5.
And they said it had never rained during the Challenge for Hope. And it was raining when I got there, but it did not rain during the race or when the festivities started. So it was a lot of fun. And I met a lot of people. A lot of people came up, asked to have their picture taken. I was surprised with how many people were from out of town. There was obviously a lot of locals, but there were a lot of people that had heard about it, were on vacation with their families, and decided to come and participate. So I thought that was pretty incredible too.
Awesome. Well, while you were out there running, I was off busy doing my own sweating. Okay. And the Motor City Mouse Meet kicked off here in Detroit, and we had a whole lot of fun. Let me just show you guys the photo of this one. And so here we are in our post-sweaty workout photo, And together we raised $700 for Give Kids the World.
Awesome.
And it was through my spin studio. They do a program called Cycle Giving. And so if you say, hey, look, I've got some people together, let's put together a ride, they will come back in and host a ride. And everybody paid $25 a bike to sign up. And we had some additional contributions as well. And so we netted out around $700 from that. And that's kind of our first event is Motor City Mouse Meet. So I think $700 for our first event was pretty well done. Aaron over at, I always mess this up. So Magical Wishes for Kids, which is the Disney Indie Meet. Aaron from there, we did a podcast interview with him and he was on the live show once. We're actually running the money through his organization just to make it easy. Because I didn't want to have to set up anything, but we pulled that together in about 7 weeks time. So that was pretty cool to pull up $700 in 7 weeks. Pretty happy about that.
It's incredible.
I also want to give a shout out. Several DVC members. I did not post in any of DVC groups, but I did post on my personal wall. So I had several DVC members contribute to my fundraising. So shout out to Jeremy, Pete, and Brian. They all contributed. So I think it's an amazing community that I've never met them in person, only know them through Facebook and through DVC, but contributed to my fundraising. So I thought that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We are an awesome community of DVC members. That's kind of the tagline for everything that we come together and do. We celebrate this Disney lifestyle that we have, but we also realize that there's some really cool people that are a part of this community. And the whole point of us doing this show is to connect these people. So awesome job there, Shannon.
Good job, both of you. That's
too,
awesome.
Chad.
Yeah. So I'm pretty proud of the team, and special thanks over to Caitlin and Alicia and Princess Katie, who you've seen on the show as well. So they were all there and in the photos. I should.
So is this the first annual?
This very well could be the first annual, because the instructor got a little carried away with the playlist and had a hard time cutting. Okay. So Olivia's saying, when we do this next year, I want to do an all villains themed ride. And I'm just like, well, that'll probably increase our sales. So let's roll the villains themed ride next year. So yeah, it's a good chance we'll be doing this again next year, because, well, about this time it gets really kind of cold and nasty and it could be snowing out there. And it's a great time to start promoting indoor cycling, to give all of the outdoor exercise people hey, here's an opportunity inside to come in and still get in a great workout. So yeah, that kind of wraps that one up. The other thing is anybody else, I know of a few people have signed up for the meetup event that's posted in the My DVC Points community for this Thursday night. If you signed up, I'm trying to bring hoodies. They should be arriving tomorrow and printed and all set so that they can go out with me on Wednesday night after work when I fly to LA. But for those of you who could be listening to this, we're going to meet at the bar at Grand Californian at about 5:00. And at 6:00, we can get inside the event. So meet there for a half hour or so, cheer up. I've got some goodies to give away, and we'll go from there. And Jeremy asked this question: what was the best song there? Well, it's kind of a slanted deal, because she played my favorite spin song ever, which is Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin. That is like my jam song. And yes, it does tie back in. And like, does anybody know where Immigrant Song fits into the Disney universe at?
Sorry.
There's a lot of movies out there, so it could be anything.
Thor Ragnarok. Okay. When he starts to light things up and just, totally starts cleaning house, they're rocking Immigrant Song. So she threw that one in there just for me. So yeah, that was my best song. Right?
Yeah, my kids were watching Endgame today, so it was probably shaking the house at some point with that song, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. I don't know if it was in Endgame. I know it was in Thor Ragnarok. Okay. That's how we tied it back into the park. Yep. The dude with the big hammer.
Yeah.
Face palm, right?
My kids are like, Mom, right? Yeah.
Well, but in all honesty, he's not allowed in Walt Disney World. So you might not have seen him. You got to go over to Disneyland to see him. And speaking of Disneyland, while we've got Andy here, Now, Andy, you live not far from Disneyland, right?
That's correct. About 45 minutes south of the park area. And there's a couple hidden gems there, Chad, isn't there?
There certainly is.
One of my favorites, I'll tell you right up the top, is over at Steakhouse 55. If you
Okay.
get a chance at 6-month window, book the Oak Room, which is the back room, as long as you have a party of 7 or more or 8 or more, and you will get some of the most amazing service and the most amazing food you'll ever have at that Oak Room.
Okay, so the Oak Room at
Steakhouse 55.
Now they don't have a meal plan there, right? So is that something that you can get discounts or anything on?
No, that's correct. There's no meal plan at Disneyland. There may be a DVC discount. I'd have to check on that one for y'all. But the food is just phenomenal. I actually think it's the best restaurant on property, and it's actually out of the parks, which is kind of fun.
Oh, so you don't need a park ticket.
You don't need a park ticket to go there.
No, it's in Disneyland Hotel, right?
Correct. In the basement of Disney, in the first floor of the Disneyland Hotel.
Perfect.
Oh, neat.
Over by Goofy's Kitchen.
I just got a text from Shannon, and apparently Karma is coming back for her, talking about her no snow in Florida, and they lost power. So
Oh, no.
no.
I'm not going to gloat too much, okay? But when her router and all that reboots, she'll be back with us.
Oh.
But that's what you get for rubbing that snow in our face.
Everybody
Yeah.
runs air conditioners down there or something.
No. Another hidden gem I like over at the Grand California Hotel is when you stay on property, there is a private members only viewing area called Paradise Viewing Area. It's located on the 6th floor on the sort of the DVC side of the shop, and you can go take a look at that. Your room key will provide you access, and it's a private area most people don't know about and don't use. So it's kind of fun for DVC members.
I remember I went up there last time when World of Color was going on, and there might have been 12 people up there.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep. And you
World of Color had been down for years at that point in time. So I can't imagine what it would be like if it was like now and you pop up there.
Like, when would you think would be the best time to go up there? Is that like more of like a anytime, or is it like only for fireworks or something?
I think like Chad said, for the World of Color show is going to be a great time to go up there. It's great afternoon, sunset pictures with Reader Springs in the background. Very nice settings for your holiday cards if you're thinking about doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that for a fireworks view, it's probably not a good location because you won't be able to see that much of the Disneyland fireworks. So more for the Grand Cal or the California Adventure side of the shop.
Yeah. So just to clarify there, Alicia, there's fireworks is on the Disneyland side, and then over on the other side of the property is the Disney's California Adventure, and their nighttime spectacular is called World of Color.
Oh, okay.
And it's a pretty decent shot from off center at that show. Okay. Now I would say you'd probably be better off watching it from dead center right there on the ground if you can get a fast pass for that viewing area. But it's pretty great if you're not going to be using a park ticket, like on arrival day, if you get in there and can head up there beforehand. It's also a great place if you don't happen to get one of the theme park view rooms. Half the rooms at Grand Cal are on theme park side, and half of them are on the pool side. Okay. And some of them are kind of quasi theme park, but you're looking at a redwood forest. Okay. So, but if you don't get the side where you can look over at Paradise Pier, that thing overlooks Paradise Pier. Great tip, Andy. Great tip. I forgot all about that one.
Yeah, it's one that is, like you mentioned earlier, is rarely used. And the nice thing about it, especially in the winter months, they have drop-down heaters. So you can go up there, beverage of your choice, watch the show, get there 2 minutes before it starts, and you're not going to the parks. Great place to go check out.
Okay, you said my word. The beverage of choice. Is there a bar?
No, it's not, but you can bring your own beverage of choice.
Oh, okay. So kind of like Top of the World, but no bar. Right?
That's correct. No bar there.
It's kind of like the outside viewing area of Top of the World. Okay.
Yeah, kind of. Very good analogy.
Yeah. It's kind of, I guess that's how I would call that. And
you're talking my language with free perks, so keep them coming. That's
Now,
Yeah.
the other epic fail that I have to admit to as a dad, and we were there, we had 5 days of park tickets when we were at Disneyland in April. And I knew about the Redwood Forest Trail area. I just didn't tell my wife and kids about it because I don't know, like idiot dad wasn't thinking. But we didn't get over there until noon on Friday, our 5th day. And my kids absolutely love that little playground area. It's part of Disneyland. It's part of it's part of Disney's California Adventure. And so you need a park ticket to get into it. But that Redwood Forest area there is absolutely amazing. There is a tire thing that comes down a big string. There's climbing. There's, you name it. It's in there for a playground. And that was one of my hidden gems that's there.
So did they have a slide you can go on too, or is it only littles?
He was on it. I know he was there.
I'm trying to think. I don't think
You get the all sizes there.
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I did work out there because the fitness in the park, when you sign up for the DVC version of it, is hosted on the rubber mats that are there. So when you're staying at the Grand Cal, if you sign up for DVC's member only fitness in the park, they came out there and they did a yoga class out there one morning. And so I've got some pictures of me, I think episode high 20s, mid 20s has got a review over at DCA member events. And so, yeah, you could take that in there.
I wonder if there's anybody else out like me. I think it's fun. I don't care my age. I'm going to go down the slides, you know?
Well, I mean, you could probably do that. Some of them, a lot of them are monitored by cast, you know, so that they can pace the kids. And because it's actually like like a zip line, so to speak.
Oh, so really cool.
Yeah. It's like a zip line built for elementary kids.
Oh, wow.
So it's off the charts cool for them. And my little guy was just like upset that we didn't have enough time there. And I'm going, oh, epic fail, Dad.
I love the
Right.
one at Animal Kingdom. I think that one gets, you know, people don't know about that one. And I think that's the coolest little park.
Is that over in the Dinosaur Land?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. The other hidden gem that I have here is Carnation Cafe. That thing is absolutely amazing. For some odd reason, like the sun, stars, moons, everything aligned. And there's this one center table that's under like an octagon type canopy that is front and center. And we were sitting there for the 3 o'clock parade. Like perfect timing to be there when the parade was going down. So we could just sit there and stop eating and look up and watch the whole parade with like nobody in our way. Cause it's like literally right on the sidewalk.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was right there next to the path that leads to the bathrooms back there. So the cast members wouldn't let anybody stand in front of you. So we literally had the best seats in the house to come back in for that 3 o'clock parade. If you can time your ADRs right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we've got that one going on. Just shout out to anybody that's out there that's listening. What are some of your guys' hidden gems that are out there?
So I had a fun one back in the day. A couple of years ago, my husband and I went out to California, and we were going to go to Disneyland, and we popped in, and we couldn't do it. We couldn't buy the tickets without our children. We're like, no, we'll wait. So we're almost there. But what we did, and as a fun little secret, is we went. They have the movie theater there that's right in downtown. And I was like, well, I just didn't, I was hungry, but I didn't want to like take time and miss something. So I went in and I had like I'm a member there, and I got popcorn and a pop for $5. We sat out on a bench and we watched. They had so much live music going on and entertainment. I mean, the whole night we spent like $8 on dinner. Okay, if you count popcorn as dinner, which I do, but you know, I mean, it was so much fun. Like I didn't have to spend a ton, and we sat there and watched all of the entertainment go by. It was great.
Yeah, the live entertainment, it's still downtown Disney there, is exceptional and exceptionally good. You could just come out there and hang out for hours, as well as all the little street vendor carts that are there. It seems like it's because of the weather is more friendly than Florida with the tropical rains and all of that. It hardly ever rains there. So it's very, very, very outdoor friendly. And that is, I forgot about all of that. That is just a wonderful hidden gem.
Yeah, and they were all, it was so approachable because it's not miles and miles.
Correct.
You know, I mean, it was very close. So like what if this show got done, then we didn't even have to leave our chair. We just turned and there was another stage right there they were setting up for the next show. It was really kind of neat.
And what you'll see now in downtown Disney at Disneyland is a lot of new venues opening up. So a lot of reasons to stroll, maybe spend a half a day going up and down. A lot of great food alternatives now too outside the parks if you want to check those out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. Melissa makes this comment that it only rains in Southern California when she's there. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what weather is going to be like if I bring some of the cold from Michigan in with me, but we'll start to see what's going on there. And here Mary Ann writes, friends of mine have spent time at Disneyland Resort, and her kids were amazed at how many characters were in the lobby of the Disneyland Hotel. Mm-hmm. Andy, don't you think that's the case out at Disneyland? Yeah. Characters are just more abundant. And
I think you'll see them everywhere, especially when there's inclement weather, as rarely as we get that. But they're floating around all the time and, close up and personal, no real long lines to see the characters, and just a fun environment for both big kids and little kids.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're bringing that to Disney World too, because I've seen Mickey and Minnie, and we always see Chip and Dale, and then Lilo and Stitch. I mean, they're, Polynesian. And so, I mean, but we tour the hotels a lot. Like I go for a tour, I love the hotels. So I found quite a few characters in Disney World as well.
Got it. By the way, here, Andy, Carol writes, Andy, your ears are adorable.
The Gravely family is a great family from New York State. One of my families when I was a direct guide too as well. Good to hear from you, Carol, and good to see you.
Yep. So anybody else have any hidden gems out there? I know Shannon had some as well. I can also tell you that Carthay Circle restaurant is really, really, really cool, especially if you can get upstairs and get to that balcony and start looking out.
Yeah. Tough to get a reservation. Got to go there right 180 days out.
Yeah.
So I guess my question for you, knowledgeable guys, because we're fast pass people and they don't have fast passes, right? So it's a day of kind of thing, right? Is it?
They have fast passes there, but you don't get them till you get into the park.
Right.
Okay.
And they're paper. They're not on your phone.
For $15 a day per person, which I highly recommend on a gung ho park day, you can get them on your phone, and you essentially walk through the gates and activate your tickets, and you have already prepaid for those fast passes with any hope. And then within seconds of coming back in, you should be able to start making fast pass selections.
Oh, okay. So you can choose them then.
Correct.
Okay.
And then you don't have to, it's a different timing system there. So what you have to do is they'll say, okay, if your fast pass starts, there's like a minimum of 30 minutes before you can get the next one and a maximum of 90 minutes. And it'll tell you when you're eligible to do it. So if the phone says, hey, at 10:32, you're eligible to get a fast pass, you'll see me going to my watch, hey Siri, set a timer for 10:33. Or an alarm, I guess, to Siri. And then at 10:33, when that thing beeps, I'm there on it. If I say the exact minute that they are, my cell phone time and their time never aligns. And you end up having to resubmit 4 or 5 times. So I just give it an extra minute and go on in.
Oh, that's a good inside tip too.
Very good.
Yeah. So Andy, any of your other favorite things that are kind of off the beaten path there?
I think the other one that a lot of people like too is the dining. There's an outdoor bar and dining at Trattoria Borchetta's. And it gives you a nice vantage point of the park, DCA, California Adventure. That's a little bit of a hidden gem some people like to find. I just like walking around the parks and some of the off-ground property areas. I mean, sentimental to us is the Disneyland Hotel because we got married there in the Rose Gardens. So I always like to take a picture there or go by there. And just a lot of new stuff. I always like to look at the new plants because they constantly changing them all the time. And that's one of the things that's the Disney difference is You don't have to worry about the park ever looking tired or not.
I did tour where they got married there. It looked so charming.
Was coming up this coming Friday is our actually next Saturday will be our anniversary.
How many?
I forget.
Oh,
17 years. No, I don't forget. 17 years.
oh 17.
17 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very excited.
Yeah, that is awesome. And I'm glad you mentioned that. I've always just called it like the wine bar or the wine thing there. That is just a great place to just hang out, chill out, and people watch over at DCA.
Yeah.
So
Very
the
good.
other thing, it used to be a hidden gem over there. It's not anymore. Is they rethemed this bar to Pixar, and it's the downstairs location where you can get the lobster nachos over there at Pixar Pier. And it used to be like nobody would hang out there because it was kind of like a downstairs bar, but it's right on the water. And you can get tables out there into the water. And now it's like a wait list and a half if you don't have a reservation, or forget it without a reservation because it's so popular. So it's not so hidden of a gem anymore. It's still a gem. Okay. It's just not so hidden.
It sounds fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think he knows the parks better than I do.
Well, I don't know.
Everybody vacations differently though, and they all have, different, focuses, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go out there and I'll run and gun for hours, but then when I don't have a fast pass, I need someplace to sit down and chill. And so that's my whole strategy is how do I maximize that max pass? And what I love about it is you can end up getting 10 to 12 e-ticket attractions on fast pass over the course of a day if you really maximize the system. And so that's what I would do, but then you've got that 90-minute downtime. So the other pro tip there that it's probably a hidden gem on Max Pass is because you can do this on your phone. So I had all 5 of us with these tickets and Max Pass tickets. And in the afternoon, the kids would tucker out and they would want to go take a nap or go have some pool time. Well, I still made Max Passes for them on their tickets and I can scan them on my phone. Okay. While they're taking a nap, I'm out using their Max Passes. So that's another way of just like getting more value out of the Max Pass system.
Good tip. Get all
There's a good one.
send them to the pool and you keep going the rides. I like that tip. That works.
Yeah, there you go. Right. There you go.
And then because the parks are so close together, doing a park hopper is very easy. You can go.
Oh, it's almost a no-brainer there. It's really a no-brainer. Yeah, I think you mentioned it or alluded to this earlier, and I tell everybody that if you're going to go to Disneyland, you got the schlep factor to get to LA and then to fight LA traffic to get to Disneyland. But once you're inside the bubble, the schlep factor is very minimal.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
Now you talk about Orlando, where it's super easy to get a flight to and super cheap to get a flight to, and then take Magical Express into the bubble. Very easy to get into the bubble. But once you're in the bubble, that's a 47,000 acre bubble you got to schlep around. So the schlep factor is inside the bubble in Disney World.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just kind of my take. Well, let's go.
I was going to say, Carol.
Oh, go ahead.
I saw Carol's heading down, and she likes to travel the different hotels as well. So that one's fun.
Yeah. So I'll just go ahead and read it. So Carol writes, holiday time at Walt Disney World is great to go to different hotels and see all of the different holiday decorations and their gingerbread houses and all the different gingerbread bakery items. They make it absolutely phenomenal. And I have to say, I will do some live stuff from the gingerbread house over at Grand Cal this time. And maybe pop over to Trader Sam's as well. Because my park tickets, my annual pass is down for Disneyland. And I'll just be over there for outside stuff and then the one Moonlight Magic this year. So it's just a real quick deal. The good news is my annual pass for Cedar Fair, which would be Knott's Berry Farm, is still up. So we're going to spend some time over at Knott's Berry Farm while we're there.
Very nice. And you're going to have great weather out here, Chad, so you don't have to worry about bringing too much warm clothes.
Yeah, well, I'm still bringing in the hoodies, man, because it's full-blown hoodie we're inside here now in Michigan, okay? Because the heater's on and everything else. But we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode today. Alicia, you're a regular on the show. Where can we follow up with you at if they want to talk with you more?
I'm happy to find you on my DVC points. That makes it a lot of fun.
Yep, over there in our community group. And then, Andy, what about yourself?
Andy at dvcresalemarket.com. Or you can always call me direct at 949-412-0850.
Okay. Now, I didn't have that one typed, Andy, but okay. Next time we'll have that up there pre-typed. But yes, and you can remember him. You are Andy, like written on the bottom of Woody's shoe.
Yes. That's why I like to use that tagline, everybody I talk to.
I remembered it, and I figured, you know what, I'm going to do you the favor and just pitch your tagline for you. So, okay. Thank you so much for joining the show today, Andy. And thanks for all of the great update from DVC Resale Market. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry, our comments were a little bit flaky tonight, and we didn't get as many of them as we wanted to show. But I am
something every week.
Yep, it's every week there's gremlins. So, woohoo, Trader Sam's. I'm with you, Marianne. And it looks like Facebook is back up and working. So thanks, everybody. Have a great night, and thanks for tuning in.
Good night.
Thank you. Night.
Good night.